Hi everybody, Joyce here from my craft room. Thanks so much for coming today. We're going to talk about Slimline Christmas cards. I'm anxious to show you some brand new things we've got from Pinkfresh and from Tutti. And I really want to say thank you so much, not only to you guys, because I really appreciate it, but also to the folks at Expo. They keep doing a great job for us. So without further ado, Slimline. Nothing hotter in cards today than Slimline cards. So what better way to start playing with them than for Christmas cards? This is the first one I wanted to show you. This is using some of the newer dies from Pinkfresh. This one's a little cockeyed, but this is the Ornate Banners die set from Pinkfresh. 3 banners, different sizes, slightly different shapes. But if you look here, you can see I used the largest one to cut this silver banner on the back. The lavender is the second size down. And the smallest piece I cut from one of the Foil Mates sheets from Thermoweb. This is called Blizzard. It's Snowflakes, and obviously, since you know it's from Thermoweb, you know I'm going to foil it, which I did do. I used one of the new Fairy Tale Collection foils from Thermoweb. This is the Prince Periwinkle. That's what I used on the Snowflakes, and I know foil is really hard to see on camera, but you're going to have to trust me on this. And then I just used the regular purple foil, lilac, on the May Your Christmas Sparkle sentiment, which is one of my favorite little dies from Creative Expressions, right here. And last but not least, not even last, the Snowflakes come from this all-to-new set. This is a little bit older set. They're layered snowflakes. It's a really nice set. And those snowflakes were foiled with the sparkling silver foil that Thermoweb and 𝐂𝐭𝐡 did. The little bow is from the Pinkfresh new Artistic Bows set of dies. Really fun. You'll use it all year long. Makes a couple of different styles of bows and tails, and I think it's going to be great in my personal stash. So here's card number 1. Card number 2 is using one of the brand new sets from Pinkfresh. Now, Pinkfresh came out with a bunch of new Slimline stuff. They have several sets that are stamps, coordinating dies, and coordinating layering stencils. Let me move this out of the way. This is the stamp set. This is called Incredibly Grateful. And if you look, hard to see through the cellophane, but there's a big border-shaped die, leaves and flowers, and tons of really great sentiments on here. So the idea is you stamp this border, and then you take this set of layering dies, and this is kind of the look that you're going for. It's a set of 3. So you've got can you see that without my red background? You've got the first layer, which is basically going to color all the greenery. The second layer goes right on top, and that is just to give some definition to the greenery. A little, if you stencil it in with a little bit of a darker green, give them a little definition. And then lastly, the third stencil is to color in the little flowers. Now, just to be I'm getting signals here. Just to be perfectly candid with you, this does not line up exactly. It is not intended to. It is a very loose relationship, let's say, to the stamped outline. But I think it turned out just great. I really, really like this one. Now, the other thing I did on this card was I wanted something in the background. So I took another of their new stencils, and this is just a single stencil called Diagonal Stripes. Just one stencil. The single stencils are $5.99. And I just cut a piece of white cardstock to fit behind my border, stenciled that with some green, and then stamped a couple of sentiments on there with some Versamark and embossed them with gold. And then I cut out the border. Now there are two dies in here. One cuts the outline and one cuts the inside line of the border. Then last but not least, I used their stitched diagonal rectangle slim die that has actually 4 dies in it. 2 have the stitched edging, diagonal stitched edging, and then there are 2 more that will cut the inside of that out so you can get a frame like this. So you get 2 sizes in there. Anyway, I really like these. There are several different sets. I think we have 3 of them in stock right now. So, next up is this one. Oh, I failed to tell you one thing. The sentiments on this last card came from these 2 different all-to-new sets. Holiday Flower and Warm Blessings. So if you're looking for sentiments for your Christmas cards, you might want to take a look at those. All right. This card was made with the slim stitched circles die. You can see on the back, they show you what it's supposed to look like. So I obviously cut that out of a piece of red, filled in the joy word with letters from this 𝐂𝐭 alphabet set. And then I just grabbed some foliage from another, I don't even remember what die I grabbed this from, to tell you the truth, but just some greenery to decorate the circles a bit. This is a really nice die. Obviously, you can use it all year. You know, you could fill this in with lots of things other than letters. Snowflakes, gingerbread men, you know, all kinds of stuff like that. So that's a nice one. Okay, here's my favorite. This is, first of all, the wreath. This is the layered wreath die set from Pinkfresh. This one's been out for a while. Now, if you notice this beautiful red cardstock in front of me here, this is called Mira Lava cardstock. I have it in red and in silver. I used the silver to cut the bottom layer of this wreath. And then you cut the same wreath. This time I cut it out of silver glitter paper, obviously. But in this wreath set, there are some extra little pieces. There's some little flowers and some little individual branches that you can cut separately, so you don't have to cut the whole wreath. And I just cut that out of some pink. The sentiment is Warmest Wishes, again from Creative Expressions. But the best part is the background. This was done with the Argyle stencil set from Pinkfresh. Now, they have a number of layering stencil sets. They're $11. There are 2 stencils in each set. You can use them together, obviously, or separately. So you get this diamond pattern, which is what I used on the bottom of this card. I just stenciled the diamonds in a light gray. And then you get the second layer, which is just this crisscrossing lines that you could also use by itself. But I just layered those on and used the darker gray color to stencil the lines. And I just love that. I just think that is the prettiest background. So that's my favorite. Okay. Next, my other favorite. This is another Pinkfresh die. This is the Slim Fancy Diagonal Stripes die. Not to be confused with the Diagonal Stripes die. This is the fancy one. So you can see here on this card, and this was cut from this Mira Lava paper. You're getting the stripe and you're getting a narrow stripe. And just to kind of, I wish you could see how satiny this looks in real life, but I know it's hard. Anyway, I used the 𝐂𝐤𝐡 3D die just to dress up the front of it. I've used this die a lot. There's lots of texture in it. You get the lines embossed. You know, nothing special required. You don't have to run it through with a rubber mat or anything like that, you know, a second time. It does that all for you in one shot. I just cut the biggest layer of the poinsettia a second time out of green, cut it apart, and tuck those layers in for the leaves. And again, another little sentiment from Creative Expressions is their stacked Merry Christmas die. And I cut it out of white, and I laid it on top of a second die that I cut out of green just to give it a little contrast. So those are my Slimline Christmas cards. I wanted to show you the other new things that came from Pinkfresh. This is another one of the individual stencils. This is just called Horizontal Stripes. This is another one called Inverted Diamond, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you can you see that? Okay. This is Diagonal Stripes. This is the one I used on that other card that I showed you. And then we have 3 layering sets. This is called Simple Plaid. There are, as I said before, 2 stencils in each of these layering sets. So you're going to get 1 layer that you can use by itself, second layer you can also use by itself, or you can stack them and get this cool plaid effect. This one is the double chevron. So you get a thicker line, and then you have a thinner line. Again, you can use them separately, or you can lay them on top of each other. And boy, this is really hard to do when you're not looking straight at it. Get like a white line over your red line. And last of the stenciling sets is the diamond plaid. Same concept. 1 more open plaid, or pattern, I should say, and then 1 with more lines. Again, both can be used separately, or you can layer them, and they're so pretty. The layering sets of stencils are $11 each. Real quick, just to give you a quick glimpse, this is the You Are My Favorite. This is another one of the sets that comes with the stamps. It doesn't come with, but you can buy the stamps, the die, and the layering stencil set, which when colored gives you that look. And Be Courageous, the stamp, the die to cut out the inside and the stencils. Really pretty. Fair warning though, this one, for whatever reason, is a bit too long to fit in the original Misty. If you've got a memory Misty, you're in good shape. Otherwise, I would take it out of the package, lay it down, ink it up, and then lay your cardstock on top of that and give it a rub, just like you've done with a million other big stamps. Okay, real quick, how am I doing on time there, Mr. Director? Okay. Tutti Designs came out with some really cool new dies. If you're familiar with Tutti, they have had 4 different styles of square, circle, oval, and rectangle die sets, nesting die sets. What they've done is come out with a couple of them as Slimline. This is the Slimline dotted rectangles. And this is the Slimline stitched scalloped rectangles. I'll show you what they look like, because these I went ahead and cut out. This is the scalloped. And this, you can probably barely see, is the dotted. It's very tiny, but it's very pretty. Cool thing is, all 5 of these are $19.99. Really good price. And if you see all the dies that you get in these sets, that's quite a bargain. So those are those 2. The others are single dies. This one is the trellis background. And when you cut it, it looks like this. This one is the Slimline hexagon background. Looks like that when you cut it. That's what the die looks like. And these are all 3 5/8 by 8 5/8. And my favorite is the Slimline diamond background. Very Harlequin looking. Great for holiday cards, I would say. So there you go. Now, are we doing a promotion? Of course we are. We're doing things a little differently this time. When you log into our website, everything except kits and laminators, as always, will be 20% off automatically. You don't have to do anything to get the 20% off. But if you go under our paper crafting menu on the homepage of our website, you'll see paper crafting. If you click on that, the first category that's going to come up says extra 10. Everything in that category will be discounted an extra 10%. And the way my website works, that means they are a true 30% off everything in that category. If you put the code extra 10 in the coupon box when you check out. So you don't have to do anything to get 20, but if you go into that extra 10, and there are hundreds of items in that category, hundreds. If you go in there, throw the stuff in your shopping cart, put extra 10 in the coupon box when you check out, and presto, you'll get 30 off of all that stuff. So, happy shopping, everybody. And if I don't see you before, happy Thanksgiving. Thanks so much.